in your remarks outside, you, I think, did a great job of painting the vision for WideOrbit, the quest you're on to take the cost and make local TV easier to transact. Can you give a couple of minutes and describe what that looks like?
Sure. So again, like this is a multi-year thing for many of us. We've been working on providing great traffic systems, which is really your supply system of record for a media seller, and we've aggregated critical mass, so about 92%, and that starts with proposal and goes through order management, making sure Ford doesn't run next to Chevy and you don't have beer ads and kids programming, goes all the way for invoicing and credit collection. So it really is the infrastructure of the supply side. Now that we've done that, we're working with buy-side systems and indirectly buyers to try to make that available. Now we don't sell it. We don't buy it and then package it up and sell it. We really just try to make it accessible as an option to sell. And so when people talk about programmatic, to me, there's two things. There's the data and the attribution and things like that, and there's the workflow automation. So we're working on both, but what we're doing right now for Spot is addressing that workflow automation because we think that's mostly why money's leaking out and into other forms of media.
So have there been any challenges you faced using the word programmatic as you think about stations in a market in a hyper-competitive environment?
100%. A few years ago when we really started talking about this, programmatic was a race to the bottom. Programmatic was commoditization of inventory. Programmatic was everything but what we were trying to accomplish, which was really just improve the workflow and reduce the time it takes to transact. Now, I think people have kind of figured out, like, okay, this is what we mean by programmatic. And the industry seems to say, okay, we agree with the problem. Generally speaking, I think they're also saying we agree with your solution. If you could take the pre-buy, the stewardship, and the post-buy and take the time and pain out of that transaction, we agree with that as a solution. Working with the buy-side systems and the buyers is the right solution. Then it was about cost. Initially, I think we had greater aspirations in terms of the value we were creating and the cost that it should return. And now I think we're a bit more in check and more reasonable with that. And now we're really partnering with the industry to go out and make it happen. So we've got broadcasters that are signing up as early adopters. Same thing is happening on the buy side with the buy side systems, MediaOcean and Hudson. And those folks are coming together and transacting in a more direct way. And I can give you some examples. So an avail request that starts off with a buyer and they say, hey, I want to buy these markets and these particular day parts for this brand and these dates. It generally goes out, it goes down to the rep then passes it to the stations complete it, goes back to the rep, back to the buyer. On average, just getting program names is 3.5 days. We're now directly tying into that buy-side system, so they say, hey, I want to buy in these markets, I want to buy, and they send that down, and automatically we get a response back. Again, I made the comparison to like kayak.com or Orbit's. It's the same thing. When you enter in Kayak, there's not somebody on the back end saying, oh, this guy wants to travel and he wants to go to here. It's they've actually gotten the buy and sell side systems to talk. And that's what we're doing. And we do the same thing in stewardship with make good. So we bring across buyer criteria, and that way the seller has it. So they're not submitting make good opportunities that fall outside of the requirements. And same thing with posting. It happens in real time rather than waiting till the end, so that a brand who's got their own sales data, first party or third party from a TV Squared or whomever, can say, oh wow, Spot ran here, I got a bunch of clicks, a bunch of sales, this is working. And so that is going to raise the value of basically everybody in the ecosystem, I think.
Got it. What's one big milestone you hope to overcome in the next year, which will sort of validate that you're on the right path?
Yeah. So it's interesting. There are a lot of folks that are still in this process, even though we know that we're losing money, and over time it's going to, we have to adjust it. Disrupting incumbents is a tricky thing. It makes people nervous when there are new folks that are coming in, when we change our position from just being a supply-side system of record to one that's helping them to transact against their inventory. Those things make folks nervous. But there's also a healthy dose of appreciation for it and a lot of energy and enthusiasm. So we're in the final stages of working with these buy-side systems. We'll start transacting really over the next month or two. We'll have a crawl, walk, run strategy, and our fees will be commensurate with that. But I think what you'll see is as that transactional volume increases, buyers will have this, it'll be a noticeable difference in terms of, okay, I'm not waiting for 3.5 days, I'm getting it immediately. I'm not getting a bunch of make-good offers that don't fall into the categories or the criteria that I need. I'm not waiting 6 or 8 weeks after my schedule runs to get post-buy analysis. I'm getting it immediately. And I think that they'll go, wow, I'm going to take another look at local.